You got a raise 6 months ago, maybe 2. Real money added to your paycheck, the kind that should be building your wealth by now, shifting the numbers in the right direction. And here's what's strange, if someone asked where that money went, you couldn't fully explain it, not because you made one big, stupid mistake. The money just dissolved quietly without a funeral. There's a specific kind of exhaustion that comes from working harder every year and feeling exactly the same financially. Not worse, you're not in crisis, but not ahead either. You earn more and somehow you need more. The number left at the end of the month looks almost identical to what it looked like 3 years ago, just with larger transactions above it. The lifestyle got nicer. The anxiety stayed the same. I want to say something clearly because the personal finance world will blame you for this, call it willpower, call it poor choices. But what's actually draining your wealth has a scientific name. It's been studied for decades. It operates on complete autopilot. And most people never realize it's running until they look back on 20 years of good earnings and feel strangely, inexplicably behind. What I'm about to walk you through is the one thing that separates people who build genuine, lasting financial security from people who earn well their entire lives and arrive at retirement feeling like they missed something. It's not an investment product. It's not a budget hack. It's a mechanism, and once you understand how it works, you'll see it operating everywhere around you. Here's what makes this urgent. The millionaires who actually hold wealth, not the ones with leased luxury cars and mortgaged aesthetics, but the ones the research calls the millionaire next door, they don't fight this mechanism. They've built something that blocks it automatically, before a single spending decision can be made, before desire even has a chance to form. In the 1950s, a British historian named C. Northcote Parkinson published a dry, almost sardonic observation about government bureaucracy. He noticed that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Give a task 2 hours, it takes 2 hours. Give it 2 weeks, it somehow fills 2 weeks. Bureaucracies, he said, weren't growing because there was more work to do, they were growing simply because space existed to grow into. Behavioral economists later discovered this same principle operating in personal finance with uncomfortable precision. Your spending doesn't expand based on what you need. It expands to fill what you have available. This is Parkinson's law applied to money, and it runs silently in the background of almost every middle-class financial life. You get a raise, within weeks, without making any single conscious decision, new expenses appear. A streaming service you meant to try, a restaurant that used to feel like a splurge but now feels casual, a slightly newer car. None of these feel significant. Together, they absorb every dollar of that raise and in many cases slightly more. Not because you're irresponsible, because the money was available, and available money creates spending gravity. Think about your body's immune system. You don't consciously direct white blood cells to identify and neutralize a threat. You don't decide to fight a virus. The system runs automatically, detecting, routing, eliminating threats before they reach the stage where you'd notice them. Most of the time, you never know the immune system acted at all. That's not luck, that's architecture. The people who quietly build real, lasting wealth have built the financial equivalent of this. Not willpower, not constant vigilance. An automatic defensive system that identifies spending threats and neutralizes them before they reach the decision-making part of the brain. Their money never arrives where desire can act on it. And here's the critical problem. Most people have their financial immune system completely switched off. Every raise is a virus entering an unprotected system. Every bonus, tax refund, inheritance, or windfall, each one is a new exposure. Without automatic defenses in place, the spending brain absorbs it every single time. There are 4 specific patterns that consistently destroy middle-class wealth building, not through crisis, but through quiet, compounding erosion. The first researchers call lifestyle anchoring. The moment you upgrade something, that upgrade becomes your new baseline within 4 to 6 weeks. The slightly nicer apartment stops feeling like a luxury and starts feeling like a minimum requirement. And the new baseline silently demands upgrades across every surrounding area of your life to match it. The second is subscription creep. The average American now carries over $200 per month in recurring subscriptions, most added during financially confident moments, almost none ever actively decided to keep. They persist by default, draining quietly month after month, invisible until you look directly at a bank statement and feel vaguely confused. The third is social calibration. Research consistently shows our spending is shaped by the visible consumption of people around us, including casual acquaintances. When someone in your social circle upgrades their car, a part of your brain recalibrates what normal looks like. The upgrade you hadn't considered suddenly feels reasonable, not because your circumstances changed, because the comparison point shifted. The fourth and most insidious is what behavioral economists call present bias. The brain systematically overvalues what's available now and undervalues what's possible in the future. Every time extra money is available, the brain experiences it as an invitation to act today, not to protect tomorrow. The future version of you has no representative in that moment. The present version of you speaks first, loudest, and most convincingly. Here's the part that changes everything. Millionaires who quietly hold real, lasting wealth, the people who look like ordinary neighbors and retire financially free, they don't have more willpower than you. The research from the millionaire next door is unambiguous on this. What separates them isn't income level, discipline, or sacrifice. It's structure. Their money never reaches the part of the brain that wants to spend it. The moment income arrives, it's already been redirected automatically, invisibly, without requiring a decision in the moment, into investment accounts, into separate savings, into structures that exist specifically to make that money unreachable before the spending impulse can activate. They haven't blocked desire. They've simply removed desire's access to the resource. This distinction matters more than almost anything else in personal finance, because willpower is finite. It depletes under stress, under fatigue, under social pressure, under the hundred small emotional moments that make up a normal week. A system doesn't fatigue. A system doesn't negotiate. A system runs whether you're having a hard month or an easy one. This challenge is significantly harder today than it was 20 years ago, not because people have less discipline, but because the machinery designed to exploit present bias has become extraordinarily precise. Every social media platform is an engineered display of peak consumption moments. You don't see the debt that funded the vacation. You don't see the payment plan behind the renovation. You see the highlight. And the brain, continuously recalibrating what normal costs, adjusts its baseline upward with every scroll. The comparison point shifts constantly, invisibly in the wrong direction. The average person encounters hundreds of spending invitations per day. Advertising, notifications, recommendation algorithms, social content, all designed by some of the world's most sophisticated behavioral engineers to override long-term thinking with short-term reward. An unprotected financial system doesn't stand a chance against this at scale. Without automatic defenses, all of that machinery works directly against your wealth building every single day. So what does the financial immune system actually look like? How do you build one that runs on its own? It comes down to 3 automatic mechanisms, none of which require willpower once they're installed. The first is automatic redirection at the source. When income arrives, a predetermined percentage moves immediately to protected accounts before you see it, before it appears as available. Not a reminder to transfer it later, not a plan to be disciplined about it. Automatic, immediate, invisible to the spending brain. This single mechanism, consistently applied, is responsible for more wealth building among ordinary earners than any investment strategy. The second is a fixed lifestyle baseline that doesn't rise automatically with income. This is the counterintuitive core. You decide in advance what your lifestyle costs, and you protect that number from inflating with every raise. Every income increase flows first into wealth building. The lifestyle upgrade comes later, intentionally, only when the financial foundation genuinely justifies it, not when the money feels available, when the foundation is solid. The third is a 48-hour rule for non-essential spending above a defined threshold. Not a budget review, not a complicated calculation, just 48 hours between the impulse and the decision. Behavioral research on present bias consistently shows the impulse weakens dramatically with even a short delay. The purchase that felt urgent and necessary on Tuesday feels optional, sometimes irrelevant, on Thursday. You haven't denied yourself anything. You've simply given the future version of you a seat at the table. None of these require austerity. They require deliberate setup once, so you don't need constant discipline forever. When these 3 mechanisms are running, something quietly shifts. The financial anxiety that lives beneath the surface of most middle-class lives, that low-grade awareness that you're earning but not truly building, begins to lift. You start watching your net worth move in the right direction even in months where nothing felt particularly disciplined. Because the system is running whether you're paying attention or not. This is what financial security actually feels like when it's real, not the look of wealth, not the temporary relief of a big deposit. The quiet confidence that your foundations are solid even when the economy isn't, even when income fluctuates, even when life creates unexpected costs. That feeling doesn't come from earning more. It comes from building something that the spending brain can't reach. Next time income arrives, a raise, a bonus, a refund, there's one question that changes how you handle it. It's the question wealthy wealth builders ask automatically, without even noticing they're asking it. Not what can I afford now, but will this make me look richer or actually be richer? Those 2 paths lead to very different places. One of them builds the financial security you're actually working for.